Peach Red and the Empty Road by McLachlan. 1. The Awakening. It made me sad that my car could do 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. It would be painful to get there too quickly. To miss the slow speed required by experience might be to airbrush the unfolding offered by life's journeys. Auden said it, "We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. Not too fast. Not too fast. It will be over before it begins." Is the glass half full or half empty? I recalled the second-hand bookstall where I'd seen a book of poems by Rilke and another also by Rilke, Letters to a Young Poet. I wanted to become a writer, so I bought both. £10, a real bargain. They helped me come to know my muse. If I'd been driving, as I am now, I would have flashed past the vendor and not seen it. The universe abhors a vacuum, will rush to fill the void, Rilke said. I feel empty, fully empty, a vacuum, and I imagined I could feel the life force gathering to fill me up. Our house was on an island long ago, but still her voice echoed through me, the overly authoritative superego. Get over here, Red, you little bastard. Apart from bastard, she called me Peach. I thought I'd been given the name because I got a rosy orange tinge to my face in my frequent bouts of embarrassment. I was over 40 years old before I discovered the real reason for my Peach sobriquet. My father, an oilman out in the Gulf, had christened me Red after a famous firefighter who fixed burning rigs. My father said he'd seen him only once in action. Said he was like a fire, big, powerful, didn't suffer fools gladly. My father didn't suffer me at all. Him and his second wife made a good pair. I could see the rain floating over the ridge, like a charcoal stocking on a woman's leg. It seemed to be mist, but the steel skies told a different story. I knew the mountain weather. It was like my father, could pounce on you before you had time to brace yourself. Bang, a strike, the hand of God stretching down from the clouds. I watched the wet parcel rushing off the ridge and instinctively pressed on the gas. Watched the speedo swing to the right. I hoped to outrun the cloudburst I knew was coming. After my stepmother, I never could get used to surprises. Sometimes I'm drowning in a fiercely swollen river, clasping desperately for straws of salvation as the mountain runoff madly scrambles back to the sea. Had that been the reason for me starting my working life as a sailor? A writer is constantly being shaped by his work. I wondered if the same could be said for an ocean navigator. Anyway, it had been her who had chased me away from the house. To say that complexities existed in our relationship might be to understate the difficulties. She was not the caring softness I'd wanted to enter my life some 3.5 decades before. Only unconsciously I had let her take my dead mother's place when I was still a young boy. Then, if I had allowed this knowledge to gain a foothold in my awareness, instantly, the fact would have been crushed by the grief lodged in my loss. My stepmother had taught me the stark dangers that resides in closeness to any woman. Had this chased me into the arms of men, into the embrace of boys? The thinly freckled hand that swept back her ginger curls from her face I'd wished would be the earthly manifestation of perfection, but they were a cat of 12 tails. Her face, her hands, 10 fingers and a face with a twisting mouth. 12 tails. Her words still stung, more than these hands, more than that face. Insults I could not forget. Here I was, 40 years old, and still a mind flooded by that offensively avuncular smile. Mona Lisa of death. She hid her feminine side well. I glanced up at the ash-blue mountain. Its delicate colours had turned primrose, struck by the setting sun's beams streaming down through the brisk gathering storm. Then pastel blue, as if the sky had a shadow. Alterum bibis, aquam unundum. What are you drinking, the water or the wave? Today it was a grand picture for me. Today I was to see it all. I would drink the vast, featureless water, not the wave. I could feel it in my bones. I could not escape the image of her staring down her nose as if it was the barrel of a gun, leech-like eyes, black phosphorus. Wait for the bullet. It will be like Armageddon. A slap, the rictus of certainty, as vast as the incorporeal sea. And the rain, the obfuscating sepia, stroked the long slopes of silent pine. Relentlessly the storm descended through the garden of the mountain. It seemed my name was written in the valley walls. Geography had come to know me, and I it. At that moment in time, I was unaware of the metaphoricality of what I was experiencing, but pushing more on the accelerator, I was blinded by an insane desire to avoid the hit of the storm. No more punishment. An end to rejection. Please. Please. I craved, above all, acceptance, but the towering campanile swept down on me. There was no escape. It was not rain, but ice that was carried in the cloud. Almost instantly, the road was covered by a rink of white. It looked so beautiful as it skimmed the grey surface. A washed canvas ready for art, bouncing high as if reaching back for heaven. Time seemed to slow, perhaps to let me appreciate, experience fully, the last moment. My car circled like a figure skater. My eyes watched the scenery go by, so graceful, so pure, so quiet, so calm. A triple axle in air, the mountain, the trees, the scrub, the view of the loch's peacock blue surface a mile below, a buzzard high on the snowy ridge. Was that an angel rushing to my side? Was it? Bang! I floated into silence. There was no pain. At last, no pain. I'm coming to help you, God. When you think that you are raising up God, and not the other way round, you are finally entering the mindset that will save you. That thought will lead you to rebirth. This was my discovery, that day in the mountains, the day of my crash. My life slowly expanded before me, and I remembered why she had given me the name Peach. She used to have friends round to the house, boys my age, and men. They sang, "There's a boy who lives over the water, with a bottom like a peach." The glass is completely empty, as it should be for one who wishes it to be filled. Would it be the muse this time?